good. In fact, I'd go as far as saying they look downright awful. And because this planet wasn't important enough already, there's also a shitload of foreigner artifacts buried beneath it. So to keep comparing it to 40K, imagine an entire Necron tomb world with pretty much zero defenses to keep out the grave robbers. Though the location of Earth and Reach had been kept hidden from the Covenant thus far, the UNSC's Office of Naval Intelligence estimated that the Covenant would find the system Reach was located in within 5 months on July 19, 2552. Skirmishes between the Covenant and humanity began on July 23, 2552. Good job, Oni analysts. 4 days is technically within 5 months. As for how the Covenant actually found Reach, the commander of the fleet that would soon be showing up had found a luminary to help him find foreigner relics, and Reach had lit up like a goddamn Christmas tree. The elite didn't even know that the planet was basically the most important one in all of humanity. In fact, he didn't even give a shit about any humans he might have found. He just saw a whole bunch of his god's toys lying around and went to grab the goods. First contact was depicted in Halo Reach, where a noble team was sent to investigate what they believed to be insurrectionist activity. Turns out, it was aliens. Jesus Christ, Oni, they cannot do anything correctly when it's not a human rights violation. The initial stages of the battle for Reach were following the protocol set in place by Winter Contingency. That's a really boring way to put it, so let me simplify for you. Aliens are on the planet, shoot them dead wherever you see them. And surely enough, that's what the UNSC went to work doing. One of the first places the Covenant attacked was Sword Base, an Oni research facility, because that luminary thing was pointing below it and the Covenant wanted all those sweet, sweet foreigner goods. Thankfully for humanity, this attack took place during a playable mission in a Halo game, so their forces were handily routed and Sword Base was secured. They even took out a Covenant Corvette. Aren't Mac cannons just beautiful? The UNSC as a whole wouldn't do so hot in 40K, but orbital Mac batteries, those will put the hurt on any warship. Several weeks into the battle proper, and in the coolest cutscene in a video game ever, Noble Team leads an assault to take out this landing site and kill any split-lift bastards ballsy enough to try and start shit on their planet. Scorpions, Warthogs, Falcons, if it could move and had a gun on it, it was thrown at the Covenant to get them off the planet. And initially, there was some success to this. The various pylons and anti-air weapons the Covenant had set up were destroyed by the combined efforts of Noble Team and all of these goddamn UNSC Army troops. Holy shit, this mission is awesome! To make sure the job was done, they even authorized the use of
Mac rounds in atmosphere
to make sure everything was killed real good. The UNSC wasn't taking any chances. Unfortunately for humanity, however, let's look at some basic stats real quick. The ship shown here is a Paris-class heavy frigate, measuring a bit over half a kilometer in length. A Covenant Shawada-class supercarrier is 28 kilometers in length. Which of these ships do you think is going to win in a fight?
New contact. High tonnage.
No, somebody...
Remember what I said about things feeling hopeless? Imagine being one of the UNSC troops in that battle. A spaceborne vessel comes in and fires its main gun, obliterating its target. You celebrate what's sure to be a resounding victory, and then it's really bright for a moment, and the ship is in pieces. Fellas, can we get an F in the chat for the UNSC Grafton? The Covenant also took Sword Base during this mission, so thanks, Halsey. I don't think I can blame that on you, but I'm gonna try. That being said, things weren't quite screwed yet. The Covenant wasn't balls deep into Reach at this point, though they were getting there. Fun fact, there was also a hurricane raging on Reach during the invasion. It's like the planet itself was telling the Covenant to fuck off, with a jury-rigged bomb made out of a slip-space drive that a frigate had lent them. That was a lot of lore-based techno-jargon nonsense, so let me simplify that for you. Take FTL drive, put it in Covenant ship, turn it on, and watch the Covenant vanish. It was successful, and the carrier alongside the commander of the operation were sent straight to whatever the hell dimension slipspace is, alongside several other Covenant ships nearby. Don't screw around with slipspace drive, kids. That's a great way to get unpersoned. There's no chaos gods to pray to in desperate futility either, like with a warp drive failure. You're just gone. And with that being said, it's time for some real hopelessness. You know the cutscene, I've showed it on this channel before. Hell, I've had the Remembrancer voice over it. Go subscribe to him, by the way, and the rest of the Lore Crime fellas while you're at it, plug plug. But just for funsies, let's look at the cutscene in all its glory so you can really appreciate what happens right after the UNSC's successful Hail Mary.
Slipspace rupture detected.
Gamma station control, reading multiple pings below the orbital defense grid.
Slipspace rupture detected.
Yeah, we're picking up anomalies too. Are you reading it?
Slipspace rupture
Multiple
detected.
Covenant signatures.
Slipspace
Is anyone
rupture
else?
detected.
They're everywhere.
Slipspace
Yeah,
rupture
fuck
detected.
the whole damn Covenant fleet.
Slipspace rupture detected.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Covenant are officially balls deep in Reach. Like this, the overall situation was that the UNSC was getting its ass handed to it on a silver platter while the Covenant told them to bite the pillow. Spaceborne assets continue to be destroyed despite a steady stream of reinforcements, and remember that these are 60% of the remaining UNSC ships. At this point, it's not even a Hail Mary, it's just a last stand to take as many of them out with the UNSC as possible. The situation on the ground was equally fucked. For every ship that successfully got civilians off the planet, there were another 10 either blown out of the sky or taken out before they could even lift off. Arguably, one of the worst parts of this was that the authorities kept just how bad things were in the dark from the general populace, which is very much in line with how the UNSC generally handled public knowledge of the war, but still kinda messed up. For a lot of people, they thought that the army had the landing zones contained and things were going well. Then an elite would kick down the door going, and gun down their family. Well, then an elite would kick down the door going, and Spartan Cat of Noble Team did that funny thing where her shield got EMP'd from the glassing and her brain got needle rifled, and the ground forces overall continued to lose ground as the Covenant had begun an invasion in earnest. Cities were being glassed daily, and you could see the fires on the planet from orbit as the inevitable Covenant victory took hold. On August 30th, the final day, things had come to a head. Meanwhile, Noble Team was going through it. George is dead, Cat's dead, and June realized he was in a prequel and dipped out on the first transport to the Halo Extended Universe. By this point, the military was either evacuating as fast as it could or was splattered all over the ground. The last remaining battle of note was that of Azov's shipyard. Noble Team was able to successfully deliver the Cortana fragment to Captain Keyes containing vital Foreigner data that would be put to use in the coming months, but it came at a cost, as you should expect by this point. Carter sacrificed himself because while he didn't have the firepower to get Noble 6 and Emil to the shipyard, he had the mass. Emil was cheap-shotted by some zealot bastard, and Noble 6 remained behind to fire on a Covenant battlecruiser and ensure the Pillar of Autumn could escape the doomed world. Seriously though, this cutscene would have been just perfect if Cat punched through the glass and crushed Halsey's head like a grape. Cat best girl, 10 out of 10. Except when she's driving, holy shit. At least June was gonna put a bullet in her skull if the Covenant were able to capture her, or looked like they were going to capture her, or even appeared on radar within a couple miles of them. Also, can you imagine if Emil didn't get stabbed and Noble 6 was able to board the Pillar of Autumn? Combat Evolved would have been 3 levels long and consist of nothing but the Covenant getting their shit pushed in. Wouldn't have even had time to unleash the Flood. They would have been assassinated before they could even read the "Don't Dead Open Inside" scrawled on the containment chamber.